You make good money, but at the end of the month, there is almost nothing left. You stare at your bank account and wonder where it all went. You are doing what society told you to do. You went to school, got a good job, and bought the house. Yet, you feel trapped on a hamster wheel, running faster just to stay in the exact same place. That is because the system is perfectly designed to drain your wealth, convincing you that looking rich equals being rich. But income is not wealth. High income simply means you have the opportunity to build wealth, but most middle-class earners use it to take on massive debt just to maintain an illusion. Today, we are tearing down the curtain on the 12 hidden lifestyle patterns silently bankrupting the middle class. If you recognize yourself here, you are participating in your own financial sabotage. It begins with a roof over your head. Society says a house is your best investment, but it has morphed into a financial trap. If your housing costs, including mortgage, taxes, and insurance, exceed 33% of your gross income, you are house poor. Homes are larger, prices have skyrocketed, and buyers are stretching their budgets to the absolute limit just to get the keys. When your housing eats up a third of everything you earn before taxes, it suffocates your ability to invest and build actual wealth. You are working just to pay for the walls around you. Then comes the driveway. The normalization of perpetual car financing is one of the most destructive forces to middle-class wealth. We trade in cars constantly, rolling negative equity from old loans right into new ones. You are essentially paying interest on a depreciating asset that you do not even own anymore. A car is not a status symbol. It is a rapid wealth incinerator. If your car payment feels like a second mortgage, and you plan to just get another one when the term is up, you are actively choosing to finance depreciating metal instead of funding your own freedom. Could you state your exact net worth right now? Most cannot. They know exactly what their salary is, but they have absolutely no idea what they are actually worth. Failing to track assets minus liabilities is a glaring sign of financial blindness. You cannot improve what you do not measure. If you are earning 6 figures but you owe more than you own, your net worth is negative. You are financially poorer than someone who has $0 and zero debt. This brings us to your obligated income. How much money is legally committed elsewhere before it hits your bank account? Think mortgages, car loans, and endless subscriptions. If your obligated income is over 50% of your take-home pay, your past decisions are holding your future hostage. You have no margin for error. You are living paycheck to paycheck, not because you do not earn enough, but because you have promised all your future labor to banks and corporations. Consequently, the middle class suffers a terrifying lack of liquidity. A startling number of 6-figure earners cannot cover a $400 to $100 emergency without reaching for a credit card. Let that sink in. You make good money, yet a minor medical bill or a blown tire pushes you straight into high-interest debt. That is not a cash flow problem. It is a crisis of financial architecture. Wealth is about having a buffer between you and life's inevitable disasters. Without liquidity, you are always one piece of bad luck away from a total financial meltdown. The silent killer in all of this is lifestyle creep. You get a promotion, a raise, or a bonus, and instantly, your spending expands to swallow it whole. You upgrade your phone, you eat at nicer restaurants, you take more expensive vacations. But in reality, you are just elevating your baseline of consumption. A raise should be a tool to accelerate your wealth building, but instead, it just buys a slightly more luxurious set of chains. You are earning more, but you are not getting any richer. This consumption is fueled by a fatal shift in perspective, focusing entirely on the monthly payment instead of the total cost. Dealers and retailers want you focused on that small monthly number. They stretch loans out to 84 months and push buy now, pay later schemes so you can afford the payment, even if you cannot afford the item. When you buy based on a monthly payment, you ignore the crushing weight of interest and the fact that you are dramatically overpaying for your lifestyle. This leaves your savings rate dangerously low. If your savings and investment rate is below 15% of your gross income, you are on a collision course with a very bleak retirement. You cannot save what is left over at the end of the month, because there will never be anything left over. You have to pay yourself first. Failing to compound assets now means working until you drop or facing a drastic downgrade in your quality of life later. The magic of compound interest only works if you actually give it capital to compound over a long period of time. You are prioritizing comfort over optionality. You are trading your future financial freedom for a present state of luxury. True wealth gives you options. It gives you the ability to walk away from a toxic job, to start a business, to take a year off. But when you lock yourself into a high-burn lifestyle, you destroy those options. You are forced to keep working just to sustain the comfort you have built around yourself. You are comfortable, but a prisoner to your lifestyle overhead. The moment of truth arrives when an income disruption hits. If you lose your job and must use credit cards to buy groceries, your lifestyle has broken you. Using debt to maintain your baseline consumption during a crisis is a death spiral. It means your lifestyle was a house of cards, completely dependent on the next paycheck arriving perfectly on time. Credit should never be a lifeline for basic necessities. And then there are the hidden emotional drains, like prioritizing child expenses over your own retirement savings. We all want the best for our kids. We pay for elite sports and endless enrichment activities. But if you are funding these at the expense of your own financial security, you are making a catastrophic mistake. There are loans for college, but there are no loans for your retirement. Overspending on your children today might mean you become a financial burden to them tomorrow. Finally, the glue that holds this entire broken system together is the normalization of debt through peer comparison. You look around at your friends and neighbors, they all have the new cars, the big houses, the designer clothes. You assume that because everyone else is heavily leveraged, it must be completely safe and normal. But normal is broke. Normal is living paycheck to paycheck on a 6-figure salary. Normal is waking up at 65 and realizing you have nothing to show for a lifetime of hard work. Stop looking at the indebted middle class as a blueprint for success. Wealth is what you do not see. It is the invisible discipline that happens behind closed doors. It is the car you did not buy, the smaller house you chose to live in, the investments quietly compounding in the background. It is time to wake up, step off the consumption treadmill, and start playing the game to win. Your income is just the seed. It is up to you to plant it, protect it, and let it grow into real, unbreakable financial freedom.